How's it going, YouTube? Hi, Drax here, and in today's video, today's video is going to be a little bit special, and it is going to be our 1000 subscriber special part 1 Q&A session that I decided to do over quite a while ago. Actually, I did promise this during the, I think it was 300 sub special, where I alluded to the fact that I would do another Q&A special, a little bit more in-depth, a lot more different questions, not the cookie cutter stuff that was done back then, but as you can see, we have some gameplay on screen right now just to fill your entertainment while I speak. So I hope you guys enjoy this part 1 Q&A special, and stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 is going to be a little bit more special. We will be doing a little bit of summons and some other fun stuff that I've planned. For the first question comes from Ruben from Discord. If you could pick only one unit from each year, 2018, 2019, up until current date, what would they be and why? Okay, I did give a lot of thought to this question. I looked at this and I decided to do my research on what units released when. The first year of the game, especially 2018, is a bit fuzzy at this point because it was only about 6 months. But for 2018, my pick only one unit is going to be DBS Broly. Honestly, that was the best time I've had in Legends ever. When DBS Broly released with the release of the movie, his original banner before his Zenkai, he was undoubtedly the best unit in the game, the king of the meta. He ran everything, and if you didn't have him, you basically weren't going to have a good time in PvP because most people had him. And the only thing that did defeat Broly was probably Broly, and back then there weren't really a substantial amount of yellow units that could compete with him, and plus he had type nullification, so he was in neutral to swap in. So basically he was a very difficult unit to deal with, and I had so much fun using him back in that time. For 2019, I picked a very unconventional unit, and that is Yellow Cell. Super Perfect Cell. Perfect Cell was, or currently is, the holds the title for the longest running core unit member on any team in Legends. I think it was 18 months before he got replaced by Zenkai Android 18, and honestly, he at that when he released with LF Gohan, I didn't pull LF Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and running Cell was a little bit different because I didn't really enjoy regen, but having Cell with the cover change, with his ult, basically vaporizing, he was practically the only unit upon release that could compete with the DBS Broly, because DBS Broly was still around at that time. So running him together with DBS Broly was really fun, and he brought something unique to the table. I don't know if they had any other units who introduced the cover change with the instant transmission at the time. I can't really remember, but Yellow Cell having that instant transmission was really a real game changer, and the fact that his ult did so much damage when paired with his green card, currently like the red Revival Cell, it was a really devastating combo to deal with, and I really enjoyed using Cell up until his inevitable retirement. For 2020, this one is going to be no shock. My favorite unit of 2020, if I had to pick only one, is going to be full power DBS Broly. Easy choice there. He was a juggernaut. He was, what's the word? He was unstoppable at 6 stars upon release, and basically up until this day, if you have him 6 stars or higher, he's still a fantastic unit. He still puts in the work for movie sagas, Super Saiyans, a powerful opponent if you're running a melee version of that. And honestly, I just love the Brolys. Big shock, right? So DBS Broly was a real winner for me, and I really enjoyed using him, and still enjoy using him, because literally everything he does translates into damage buffs and card draw speed, which is a very rare combination these days, especially with card draw speed. Okay, for 2021, if I had to pick one unit, it's probably going to be LF Kid Buu. Kid Buu, again, another fun unit. Unfortunately, he's an LF, so not too many people have him, because although he was a hype unit or a hype release, I don't think many people summoned for him, because although he was fun and fantastic, he's an LF, and the banner format at the time was really bad, so I don't think many people pulled him. He did come out with the infamous Angel Vegeta, which was and still is one of the best support units in the game. But LF Kid Buu, with his constant Vanish Gauge recovery and his healing, he can quickly take control of a match, similar to how DBS Broly works, the full power one, and he can quickly run down a team and bring them to their knees. His Vanishing Gauge restore upon green card by 60%, and his natural restoration of Vanishing Gauge makes him extremely dangerous and extremely fun to use if you have him. And I would really like to see my Kid Buu in my box do better, and hopefully in future I pull more copies, because he's a real fun unit to use. Very oppressive, but also very fun. Okay, that was question number 1. Let's go to question number 2. What unit... Okay, let me just say this first. This question is from Taco, also over on Discord. What do you think... what unit do you think has aged better than anyone else in the game? Zenkai excluded, or the answer is Android 18 lol. Best aged unit is gonna be, it's kind of an obvious answer, Goku Black, transforming Goku Black. His it doesn't feel like he's aged at all, obviously. Well, honestly, him getting card draw, not card draw speed, but, well, he does get card draw speed, but the green card healing and providing damage with the reload hand, him getting a full reload on main ability, the transformation, and the fact that he gets damage buffs per card drawn, and he can tank fairly well because he reduces enemy ki. Definitely the best aging unit in my opinion so far in Legends, apart from Cell. 18 months he did, well, he was a best aging unit because he didn't get a replacement, but definitely transforming Goku Black in that sense, definitely believe he has the best aging unit so far that we have. Okay, question number 3 is from Shub TM, also from Discord. Which unit had the best aged kit? This is going to be a hot take, but I think it's a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta from the Future Saga, the purple one that released during the 2nd anniversary, during the 3rd banner, and his kit still to this day is a must-have on Future Saga, unless you replaced him with the Vegito Blue, the current purple Future unit that released during this anniversary. But honestly, what he provides for the team in terms of death buffs, he provides a card on swap out to the character key, draws a blue card, death buffs, all that good stuff, and he fits on one of the most dominant teams in the game since the game's conception, honestly. Future has always been a good team since the 2nd anniversary and continues to this day to be still one of the best teams in the game. That in combination with his kit destroying cards with his green card, blue card, death buffs. The only criticism I can give to that Vegeta, he doesn't last as long anymore, purely because after 60 counts he basically loses all his damage buffs that he himself obtains from his uniques. But still, 60 counts is still a long time in terms of battling, especially when you have such an oppressive team, or defensive and offensive team like the Future Saga. Okay, let's go to the 4th question. For the 4th question, we have Pineapple God asking, what unit do you think was the most underrated from each year upon its release, from 2018 to 2021? Okay, I also did my research on this one. I did look at this one as well. Most underrated units per year. I'm definitely going to go with Saiyan Saga Vegeta for 2018. He was definitely an underrated unit and didn't see much playtime because during that meta the purple, green units were basically fodder in every match because of DBS Broly. But I do believe that he was an underrated unit, and I believe the first unit to implement the knockback effect on green cards. I do believe he is the founder of that, and honestly, in certain situations back in the day, he used to be able to take down teams by himself, including teams with the DBS Broly. With the green card, I remember specifically getting in a 1v3 against a DBS Broly, a blue Kaioken Goku, and I think it was the yellow Vegeta, and I'm glad to say that I actually managed to pull off a victory, because the opponent himself underestimated this green Vegeta, and I managed to kill his Broly with a rush, and managed to take down his Kaioken and yellow Super Vegeta using green cards. And at the time, what was the strategy to use was the sidestep and the obvious sidestep that still people are using today. But definitely one of the most underrated units for his time, and honestly, if not for him, that period would have been kind of dull for me, because he was a really fun unit apart from the DBS Broly. Man, I've seen DBS Broly a lot during this Q&A. Okay, but for 2019, let's go to 2019. 2019, it gets more interesting because anniversary rolls around, and since we're not talking about the best units and talking about underrated units, it's definitely going to be SSJ Gohan from the Second Coming movie. He was heavily underestimated and underrated upon his release. His ultimate, when activated, reduces sub count to 0 for allies, and he could tank fairly well. His green card swapped over his blast cards into strike cards, which at the time was like a big deal because not many units did that. And his damage wasn't very bad, but the main factor was that he fit on the team with Blue Bardock, the current Zenkai Bardock, and him getting crits with the ult, reducing sub count. You could throw him out there for a rush, he could tank. He provided a lot of utility for the Sun Family team, and a lot of people used him in the Vegas Showdown during the battles, if I remember correctly. Maybe 1 or 2 people used him, and it was a really interesting unit because he released alongside LF Goten with the Super Saiyan Goku, that whole trio for the Family Kamehameha. And honestly, he was the most underrated unit from that batch and at that time, so definitely love that unit because of his versatility that he had. For 2020, this is also a hot take, but I believe Metal Cooler, the green Metal Cooler, as you can see on the screen right now, all of these units are on screen as you can see so far, but Metal Cooler is probably for me 2020's most underrated unit, because upon his release, a lot of people did not like him. He did not do very stellar in one situation, but over time he's become more and more useful with the release of more Super Saiyans, and the fact that his kit in general is just extremely good. He heals a percentage on every strike and blast arts card. His green card chains has blast armor. He draws a card from that, and on top of that, his ultimate from his main ability is an AoE attack. So if you manage to get a blue Super Saiyan and you hit them with that ult, that amount of damage gets transferred, obviously a certain percentage, but that percentage can be extremely large depending on how much damage you do to that unit. Blue units in general, even up to today, they can still be fairly damaged from that ult, and I honestly believe he was the most underrated unit, and currently still is an underrated unit in my opinion. For 2021, this is a 3-way tie because the game released a ton of units this year, and a lot of people were saving their crystals for anniversary or hype units. A lot of people were very dry on CC because a lot of units, a lot of LF banners every month, so a lot of people were a little bit on edge here. But it's a 3-way tie between Dragon Ball Yamcha, Tournament of Power, Android 18, and Android 17. Okay, I'm going to speak about Yamcha first. I know a lot of people don't like the Dragon Ball saga or have not watched it, but I personally watched it growing up as a kid. And although Yamcha was never one of my favorite characters, I did respect the character a lot as being Goku's first real opponent that could handle and like fight him realistically. And I really enjoyed seeing him brought to life in Legends, and he's a severely underrated unit in my opinion because Dragon Ball in itself is a very niche team. They don't have a large tag, they don't have many units, and on top of that, not many people like the Dragon Ball saga, so I really like Yamcha for the fact that his kit in general is just really good. Him getting crit damage up on, I think it's green cards, or when he swaps in, or depending on number of counts he's in. I can't really remember because I haven't used him that much because he's pretty low stars. But I believe he's an underrated unit. To my embarrassment in PvP, I came up against a Kid Goku, the Zenkai Kid Goku, Launch, and a Yamcha, and I actually lost against that team because the buffs that he was getting, the crit buffs he was getting from himself, just absolutely shredded a lot of my units. So definitely believe he is an underrated unit. And same goes for Android 18 and 17. They were not a popular release, being an all-star banner. Especially Android 18, I don't think many people were happy to see her, especially with the Zenkai 18 running around. But then again, there are those Android 18 fans, and honestly, with the state of the teams that they were thrown on, they didn't really have a place to fit in because of their low stats. But they are not to be underestimated. Android 17's lock-in with his blue card can kill units pretty quickly, actually, and it's nothing to laugh at, especially with how good he is with his cover change. Same with the blue Android 18. She does pretty well with the main ability, disruption, boosting, all that stuff. Definitely underrated units in my opinion. There are obviously others, but these are the most underrated from each year that I've personally thought about. Okay, that answers that question. And okay, the next question is from Gold Anvil XTYT, King of Freaks. What drove you to make YouTube videos? I want to know your story. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a long story, but I'll try and cut it short. Basically, YouTube did not exist to me up until high school, like the late high school, like maybe around, like maybe 5 years ago. YouTube didn't exist to me. I mean, I knew of YouTube, but I just never watched videos or interacted with the platform at all. My cousin, a couple years younger than me, actually got me into YouTube, and at the time, Fortnite was a big thing. I think it was like season 2 or 3, and he said he's watching these people because he enjoys that kind of stuff. And he like turned me onto this game, and he's like, okay, yeah, let's go play this game, let's look at these people are funny. And I thought, okay, cool, these people make videos, it's pretty interesting, cool. And then the years went by, like maybe a year or two, and he's like, yeah, man, I started a YouTube channel, do you want to like play some COD or Call of Duty and upload this to the channel, let's see how it does, like good, all in good fun, let's check how it goes. And we did. We posted a lot of deathmatch, a lot of insane sniper kills, a lot of triple kills, basically a lot of Call of Duty stuff, like back in the old days when people used to first upload to YouTube. We did stuff like that, and it was pretty interesting. We got decent amount of views by today's standards, I suppose, and honestly, we just did it as a joke, but something just stuck with me about YouTube, and eventually I just started my own channel. When I first started my channel, I wasn't too specific on what I uploaded. I uploaded a bunch of other stuff like Castlevania, Kingdom Come Deliverance, uploaded a Fortnite video here and there, GTA, you know, just the random games I used to play at the time. And eventually I just started playing Legends. I got into Legends through another YouTuber, and well, I guess the rest is history. I just started making videos, I suppose. The first video I ever made about Legends was summoning for the Super Gogeta when he first released, and I think I went in 27,000 Chrono Crystals for him, and I never pulled him, actually. Yeah. I think up until like maybe, I think 2nd anniversary, I didn't pull him. Or close towards the 2nd anniversary, I didn't pull him, and after that, I just couldn't stop pulling him, to my infuriation. But, yeah, I got in through my cousin. We just did it as a joke, and honestly, it was such a wonderful feeling when you used to post videos and just see the response that people give when they're enjoying your content, or when they give you suggestions, constructive criticism, and knowing that you help somebody out and they've taken time out of your day to view your content is like a very rewarding feeling, I should say. But I think that's it. Got in through my cousin, thought it was cool, and decided to do it to sum things up. But the grind has been long. I did stop YouTube for a while, for about 2 years. I did stop, and I eventually came back because I just couldn't stop the addiction of making YouTube videos. It does become an addiction over time. But yeah, now that we've reached 1,000 subs, I never thought we'd reach this point like this quickly. I obviously hoped that we'd reach 1,000 subs eventually, maybe by 2022. But the fact that we reached it now is a very good sign that I'm doing something right. And a big props to the community, man, for sticking by me during this growth period and getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I wouldn't be here without the community. And yeah, I guess that's my story of how I got into YouTube. Thank you, Gold Anvil Whitey, for that tweet. Okay, for the next tweet, we have Bronze Age Gokuism. What is your favorite unit and favorite Dragon Ball character? Okay, favorite unit. Favorite unit of all time. Okay, this is a bit of a difficult question. My favorite unit of all time was obviously the transforming DBS Broly for a very long time, and honestly, for most portion, he's probably been my most favorite unit for a very long time. And recently, though, my favorite unit has been probably the Gogeta, the yellow Gogeta, the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta is probably my current favorite unit. But yeah, I do have a number of favorite units. There's no specific one that I really like the most, but my all-time favorite was the DBS Broly in this game specifically. But my favorite Dragon Ball character of all time is Dragon Ball Z Broly. I know people dislike Broly, the Z Broly specifically, because of how weak his plot was, but there's just something about Z Broly that I enjoy to this day, and I on the regular watch his movie, the 8th movie, quite often actually. Just the pure power that he had to fling around basically 4 Super Saiyans and a Namekian, and basically destroy everything that they threw at him, really spoke to me, and I really enjoyed that overwhelming presence that he had in his movie. There was no one stronger than him at that point until Goku defeated him, and even then too, it was just barely defeating him. Broly, I just don't know. His he was a psychopath in his movie, but I have to say he is my favorite character in the whole of Dragon Ball series. I do enjoy DBS Broly, but not on the same level as Z Broly, because even in his movie, the fights between him and Vegeta and Goku were very close cut. Like, he was just slightly overpowering them. There was no overwhelming presence, there was no domination, no throwing them around like ragdolls and destroying the landscape to the extent that Z Broly did. But yeah, my favorite unit is the DBS Broly from before. Current favorite unit is probably going to be Gogeta, the Super Saiyan Blue version. And my favorite Dragon Ball character of all time is probably going to be, not probably, it is Z Broly. Anyways guys, thank you for tuning in for this. I hope it was a little bit informative of who I am. Those are all the questions I received. Unfortunately, if there's anything else you wanted to know, it's unfortunate because I did post this on Twitter and on the channel for submissions, so if you missed out, it's unfortunate because I did give it a week to roll over. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you guys learned something about me. Hopefully you'll stay tuned to take part in part 2, and hopefully the channel keeps growing and we keep getting stronger and keep moving forward. I hope you stay tuned for that, because I really want you guys to be a part of this community. This community, although some people say it's bad, some people say it's toxic, I really like this community in the general sense. There are a lot of good people in this community, and I hope in future that the people that I have not met that are great, I hope I get to meet those people. Anyways guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for the future content coming to the channel. See you in part 2. My name is Hydrax, and I'll catch you all later.